All right. Let me
Hey,
know if you're hearing me decent.
I hear you perfectly, Vicky.
Okay, good. Apparently these things work a little better because it's got a little microphone right here. Learning. I'm just gonna pop my
Vicky,
light
the
here.
spookiest person I know. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Busy
Good.
but good.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are busy. You're
Oh,
just busting masks out like crazy. I'm
it's
watching.
bananas right now. I'm
Yeah.
trying my best. It's like we have a show on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smaller show and it's local. But even though it's been like 3 years since I've been to one, like with this gang of people, the locals, I
Sure.
guess, I'm just like I want to have new shit, but it's like my little hands can't work that fast. I'm trying.
I mean, nobody who is paying attention to you on Instagram or anything could fault you for not trying hard or not
Oh,
working a lot at it because
I try.
I was telling Kayla, I was like, you help my Instagram feed look like Halloween all year long.
Oh,
So
I'm glad I can add to
yeah,
that. Don't you love it when you come across like awesome accounts and you're like, thank God?
yeah.
Because
It-
sometimes you're just stuck with tons of bunny rabbits and like dogs, and you're like, what did I
well,
do?
you got plenty of dog stuff on yours too, though. I
Absolutely,
was just
yeah.
watching your dog just a second ago pick up some recycling. So
She's hilarious.
yeah. Well,
Oh
you
man.
want to talk about Halloween?
Of course.
All right, let's talk about Halloween. This
Hell
video
yeah.
is going up on the 1st of October. I'm just curious about all the different things that you feel like you have to do in the month of October to really feel like you got the most out of it. Because I mean, granted, some people don't watch scary movies outside of October. It's different for everybody. All right, well
Yeah.
let's talk food. Let's talk
Okay.
food first. Is there anything food wise for you that jumps out Halloween wise?
Oh, to me, it would be pumpkin muffins.
Oh, okay.
So at least I don't know how to make them, but
Okay. I'm
there's
sure you
like
could figure it out.
like apple picking season. It's usually
Hmm.
pumpkin picking season too. So around here, there's at least one farm that I know of, and you can go in and they have like baked apple pies and stuff, but they have these flippin' pumpkin muffins. Dude, even when I was going to school in Vancouver, my sister flew down for Thanksgiving and she had like 4 cases of them for me because I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
It's
That.
just that cinnamon, right? Some of
Oh,
that
sure.
cinnamon is like fall.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think that like when it comes to like most of the stuff, like if it's a baked good, when I'm looking at food, Halloween wise, there's some kind of cinnamon, that spice or nutmeg stuff
Yeah,
always
yeah.
in there. Pumpkin flavors, I can do it. It's not my favorite, but it's always in my house
Oh
because
yeah.
Kayla loves it. Kayla likes pumpkin stuff. And so, in fact, she was having me look for pumpkin creamer the other day. Couldn't find any. I couldn't find any for her coffee. And so she was a little disappointed in me. So I could find plenty of peppermint.
Yeah.
So they're coming in with that already, but pumpkin stuff, not so much.
Oh man, it's
Um,
like that whole pumpkin spice latte thing, right? Everybody goes insane.
yeah,
Like
my sister-in-law is a big pumpkin spice latte person. She's like the first day it's available at Starbucks, she's like, I'm going and I'm gonna get
yeah.
it. And I'm gonna tell everybody if they have a problem with it, it's their problem, not my problem. For
Even they make like pumpkin spice scones.
mm,
And like I have the weakest stomach, like sugar and stuff, I'm in the crapper right away.
sure.
But there's that it's October and I want it. I want it just once.
Yep.
Like, please.
Yep. I get
Oh my
that.
goodness.
For me, like one of the first signs that it's like the stores are acknowledging Halloween is when you see the orange Oreos down here, or if it's the like the monster breakfast cereals. There's like Count Chocula,
Yeah.
Boo Berry, and Frankenberry, and my kids are always just like, "Can we get it? Can we get it?" It's like, let's just wait a little bit because I know if I wait long enough, like if we eat that stuff in November, it will be like $1 a box because
Oh,
it'll be
there
really
you
cheap.
go.
But
Yeah.
that's just maybe speaking to me more as a parent.
But then it's Halloween in November
There you
too.
go. It's
Halloween every day.
Yep. We have a pizza chain
Mhm.
that's called Papa Murphy's, and it's a take and bake pizza chain. And so like they make the pizzas there, which for me, I'm like, you should charge me less because I'm the one baking this pizza. But
Absolutely.
but they on Halloween, like just on Halloween, they do jack-o'-lantern pizzas where they do pepperoni pizzas that they shape to look like jack-o'-lanterns, like with the eyes and everything, and they twist the top of it so there's a stem. So that's one thing that we've been trying to do recently. So that's been pretty fun one for the kids.
That's awesome.
A bunch of sugar stuff is on my list though, so now I'm gonna make you sick with it. So I'm just like,
no, you need candy though.
Oh,
like I was
yes,
gonna say,
candy's
like
there.
a box of like mixed chocolates is key, you know?
Yeah.
Because you gotta try like at least one of them while you're watching your horror movies.
That's right. I was curious if you had an opinion, candy corn.
I was never big on candy corn. I'm more of like a toffee, and you know how like there was like old people like caramels and like molasses candies. I'm like, I'm that old guy. Give me all your caramels.
Yeah. They're one of those things that I'll like, if they're around, I'll find myself just kind of eating a lot of them. Not because I would ever choose to eat them, but my wife, she really likes them. So she'll have me get a bag and they'll be in a bowl or they'll be on top of the fridge. And for whatever reason, after I had kids, I decided that like, I don't want them to know when I'm snacking. So snacking has become a game. And so like, it isn't even that I want to snack on something, but sometimes it's like, can I sneak one of these candies without the kids noticing? And so I'll get a candy corn. She insisted I put candy corn on my list, but it's more for her than for me. But
candy corn is a classic.
Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, I have to eat them. Otherwise, it doesn't.
Or else it's not Halloween.
Or else it's not Halloween. There's just some things you have to do. It doesn't matter if you really like it that much. It's just part of the feel of it.
Yeah. I remember Oreos came out with, I think it was like a pumpkin flavored one, but they weren't orange here. It was like just the middle was orange or whatever. And it was just mediocre.
Sure.
And that kills me too. Cause like for me to like have snacks, I'm like, yo, like I'm cheating today and it better be freaking good. You know, like those moments where it's just like, oh, is Dunkin' Donuts still a thing out there? Cause they used to have wicked Halloween donuts.
Oh yeah. They're not in my area, so I haven't really spent a lot of time there, but yeah, Dunkin's still, I think they rebranded. They dropped the donuts. And they're just Dunkin'.
Yeah, who the hell's that guy? Nobody cares about that guy.
Yeah, who's Dunkin'?
I want those freaking those little Timbit things, whatever they were called.
The last food thing I have on my list is a caramel apples. You ever been a caramel apple person?
You know what? Candied apples, yes.
Sure, yes.
When like for us, it was only really when we went to like amusement parks.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Recently I start to feel old when I think about things recently, and then it's like, oh wait, I don't know, it's been a long time that's been happening. But like they have like tubs of caramel dip that you can get, and like I'll cut up apples and I'll just dip them in that and eat them. It's really good.
So good.
It's very good. And it's one of those things at the grocery store. I'm like, they're trying to trick you into thinking this might be kind of healthy because it's with the produce, and it's like this is just all sugar. Absolutely.
Deliciousness though.
Yeah, absolutely. But did you have any other foods?
I mean, I feel like apple pies is definitely a Halloween kind of thing. So I do with apples and pumpkins.
Sure. That makes sense.
You know what I love? Like Airheads, you know, like that chewy taffy stuff.
Yeah, I love Airheads.
Like, I don't know about you. So here we don't get many kids at all. This is going to be our second Halloween here. And we were buying the big chocolate bars because we're like, no one's going to come. I decorate like a madman to some extent. And it's like, I want to give back, you know, like, and also like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But you also want to taste test everything, right? Quality control. So.
Yeah. You got to know it's good.
Yeah.
You're not going to hand out bad candy. Can't be that nice.
And I feel like growing up, I was trick-or-treating until I was 18. I'm a very short human being, and I'd put on my coveralls and like my Michael Myers mask, and no one would know.
Oh, sure.
And like I would get so many caramel to the point that I'm like, I hate caramel, but I'll still want one on Halloween. Like, just one.
When it comes to trick-or-treating, I lived out of town, and so we had like 4 houses on our street. And so like we would go into town sometimes and find little like festival things or little like get-togethers and do those. So I didn't ever really have a Halloween trick-or-treating experience until like my junior year of college, when for
No
whatever
way.
reason, like we all dressed up, and there was like a pretty rich, I don't know how rich they were. They had houses, so there's a neighborhood pretty close, and so we walked around there, and I dressed up as Spider-Man, and and we walked around, and I was wearing like little Spider-Man booties and everything. It was really wet, and we were all gross. And that was the first time I'd ever done any real trick-or-treating, and I remember that trick-or-treating because Kayla is always like, remember that year you dressed up like fat Spider-Man? And it's like, no, I was just normal Spider-Man. I didn't. I was just Spider-Man. But like, that was my only real. And so it was fun to go trick-or-treating, and those people were nice to give us like 20-year-olds candy and everything. But
I love that. Honestly, like when I was more in the suburbs, I would still decorate like all the time, and it would be like, to the point I'd just be so happy to have anybody show up, even like the older kids. I'm like, hell yeah, dudes, like keep it going. And you know what, like when adults come, it's like, offer them a drink, offer them something else, you know, make them a coffee, you know. Like
yeah, it's one of those things, like, I don't know, like, should you be handing out candy at all if somebody's going to come up and you're not going to want to give it to them? It's like, I don't know if I've ever heard of somebody running out of candy, really.
Right?
It's like, you ran out. It's like, I don't know. Turn your light off then.
Yeah. Well, we were awful when we were kids when people would turn off their lights. Some people had addresses where like the numbers on your house were actually like allumé, like lit up. So I'd be like, oh, those are lights. We still ring. And my friends are like, no. I'm like, hey, that counts as Halloween lights. We were awful.
That's too funny.
And pumpkins, right? You gotta buy pumpkins.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's technically grocery.
Yeah, I it's true. When I buy a pumpkin at Halloween, I'm not planning on eating any part of it. No. But I will buy it. I will buy food.
The seed thing?
We always have the intention to do the seeds. It's always, okay, let's save the seeds. Pile. Yeah, we have the pile, we pull the seeds out, and they get put in a bag, and then nobody does anything with them. And then it's like August or September, and we're cleaning off a counter, and it's like, oh, well, here's that giant bag of pumpkin seeds that is like, we didn't clean even, so they're still kind of really gunky and gross. And it's like, don't open that bag, just put it out in the garbage can.
Pumpkin farts.
Yes. So do you have any drinks? Let's move to drinks then, Vicky.
Ooh, so same. Out here we have a couple of local breweries, and what they make is like a pumpkin spice beer.
Okay.
So I always like getting that, and I like drinking darker beers around fall. So like a Guinness, a Kilkenny, and wine because it looks spooky. It's like you're drinking red wine, spooky. Right? Yeah. I've definitely had. It was, I think, my first time owning a home, and I was alone. My ex was working at the time, and I decorated, waiting for kids to come. Oh, that wine, let me tell you, it hits you quick. I just remember opening the door, and it's like, you know, your first time in the neighborhood too. I'm like, hey, like, oh, too much vino.
For me,
what about you?
I like fresh pressed apple cider. Like, so ever since I was like, when I was a little kid in elementary school, once they brought somebody in, and they had a press, and we would crank it, and we would put apples in. And since then, I'm like, this is just the best thing to drink. And so it's really bad because, again, it's one of those things you don't really think about how much you're eating or drinking until like you really stop and think about it.
After.
It's like, I think I just essentially drank 6 apples. Like, that's a lot of apples. No wonder I'm so like bouncy. There's a lot of sugar and everything.
So good though. It's that rich, like brown, thick color. It's almost like frothy.
You've got to shake it before you pour it. That's how you know it's the good stuff. Like there will be like some of the big brands will put out stuff that I will buy in like the summer sometimes if I'm jonesing. And so you always got to look for the stuff on the bottom. They've got to be unfiltered. It's got to be gritty, a little gritty.
Yeah, that pulp.
Yeah.
That's a good call. It's true.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Love that stuff.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'll start to do some hot chocolates and stuff in October. You can do a little, I don't know. My kids always wanted, there was like, can we do a hot chocolate? It's like, Oh, well, no, because I know it's going to be a big thing. No, I don't want to do hot chocolate right now. And then finally we do hot chocolate. And we're like, okay, well, now we got to get the sprinkles out, Dad. Now we got to find some whipped cream. They're like, they're so spoiled when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Toppings.
But
Like-
yeah, because they're just like, what do you mean we don't have any whipped cream, Dad? And it's like, I would have, like, I never had whipped cream for my hot chocolate growing up.
That's it.
It's like, there's like, where is this stuff? You're like you're holding out on us. How do we
For
not
us,
have
it was
whipped
like,
cream?
go heat it up in the microwave with your carnation, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. If I was really feeling it when I was a kid, I'd maybe use water. I use milk instead of water is what it
Oh,
was.
wow.
So that'd be
So
that'd
good.
being fancy.
I don't think I've ever tried that. And I have a milk steamer. Mm.
See, that's the thing. Kayla got a couple years ago. I bought her like an espresso machine that had a steamer on it and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
And that's I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee, but I love a hot chocolate. And so she'll
Yeah.
be like, I'll steam you one. Yeah, that's definitely Vicky. Definitely do that.
So good. Yeah. I can't
about-
think of anything like spooky. Like, you know what, on top of it, my man was a bartender for years, but like there was nothing really like
Yeah.
Halloween-y. Like you're gonna end up doing Jameson shots at the end of the night anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't bother getting creative at that point. People are gonna buy it anyway. So just
Exactly.
save your time,
Halloween.
save your effort.
That's it.
Don't worry about it. People will buy booze. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So what
And they'll
about?
entertain you in their costumes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just at a meeting last night for man, I'm so boring. I was at a parent teacher group meeting last night.
I love that.
So I was at a parent teacher group meeting last night and we were talking about Halloween because Halloween's on a Monday this year.
Oh.
And we were like, okay, well, would we be able to get volunteers to actually come in? Like some of these younger teachers, could they come and help? And I'm like, on a Monday, probably, because I think that no one's going to be partying that hard that night. If it was last year on Sunday and Saturday, it's like, don't plan on it. People are.
It's rough. Even like a
Gone.
Thursday, right? Because then you have Thursday parties, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. I'm
Just
always have been of the mind, it's like, Halloween should be like, I don't know what Thanksgiving is like for you guys. I know you have your own different Thanksgiving. I don't know that date wise how it works, but down here
Yeah.
it's the third Thursday every year, and so
Oh yeah.
I feel like we should have a set Friday. Halloween should like always be Friday,
Friday.
like that last Friday, but
Yeah.
it takes away from I don't know the 31st.
31st.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the end of the month.
Yeah, it is spooky.
Right.
I love it.
You know
And-
what? It's funny because they tried to change it 2 years back here.
Oh, really?
2 years back, right before COVID hit,
Mhm.
we had a crazy wind / like ice storm hit. And literally, like on the news, they're like, kids don't go out. It's too dangerous. We're making Halloween this night. And everyone's like, screw you. You don't change Halloween. Like,
Oh
do
my
you
gosh,
remember,
yeah.
like trekking through snow or water or rain or awful conditions? Like, we did it.
Yeah. That's so funny. Like, I can't imagine a worse thing to do to try to stop people from going out on Halloween than to say, like,
Right?
don't go out. Like,
Yeah.
people might just have looked outside and be like, I don't think I want to go out in that. But if
Yeah.
you tell them don't do it, then they're like, absolutely, I'm going to do it.
Hell yeah.
What about activities? Is there anything like outside of your house that you like to do on in October?
Close to Halloween. Honestly, I would have said the whole pumpkin picking thing.
Sure.
I love going to either to a pumpkin patch or even just to like a nice little local farm spot and
Mm.
picking out my pumpkins. It's like one of my favorite things.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was one of the things being out of town, I did live like only about half a mile from a pumpkin patch. And so we got to walk down there. And every year, I forgot about this when I was writing stuff down, but every year she would go and watch like all the big movies. And then her and her grandkids would put together this little haunted house where like it wasn't even haunted really, like where they would make little scenes from each movie and they'd use like the milk jugs and paint them and like put wigs on them and buy the costumes from the store and make
Oh
the
my
scenes. So
goodness.
like, so you'd walk through and there'd be like 5 or 6 of those. And then they had like black tarps in this one doorway where you could kind of cheat out if you wanted, but that's where the scary stuff was. the scary stuff. And so it wasn't very scary looking back, but that's where you would go and you'd see like the little balls that have like the lightning going off of them, and there'd be like some skeletons and stuff like that. But I always, oh man, I forgot about that. That was a lot of fun. But that was at our pumpkin patch, and so we would go there every year, probably like multiple times. Shout out to Donna. Donna is the best. I like Donna. We still go visit her when we go down to see my parents. So going with pumpkins, I'll just jump into like carving pumpkins. Is carving pumpkins something you do, or is it too close to work for you?
You know what? Everybody assumes because I sculpt that I'd be like amazing at carving pumpkins. My pumpkins look like they're made by a kindergartner. And I am proud.
Sure.
I'm like, give me that triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's a pumpkin. I'm like, give me that classic stab and then, and I'm happy with it.
I was wondering if that would be the case, because like, I don't know if it's like a plumber doesn't want to do plumbing when they go home. So I'm like, does Vicky even want to like sculpt something which she's not doing it for work and everything? Not to say you don't enjoy your work, but like, yeah,
that stuff's too careful. I like getting messy, right? So like literally just stabbing into it, and then you're throwing seeds everywhere. Like that's my happy place.
There you go. It's a lot different than working with clay or anything too. Like you can't really put a pumpkin back on there or anything. There's no
you're screwed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No redos. So it's like, well, I guess that's what he looks like. Yeah. Since having kids, my actual carving of pumpkins has died down a bit because I have to gut a lot more pumpkins than I used to and like help out with that. And by the time I've helped 3 kids get their pumpkins, I'm like, I don't even want to do one for myself. And so
I don't want one.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So like I think the last 2 years we've bought pumpkins with the intention, and I'll probably buy one this year too, being like, this is mine, don't touch it, I'm gonna carve it. And then it will sit there until like it's time to put out Christmas stuff, and then it will move away. But it's fun. It's still fun.
I love it. I don't know. There's something about it. You play some good tunes in the background, and like it's getting dark. I kind of like doing it the day of too.
Sure.
There's just something nostalgic about doing it. Like kids are coming. You gotta hurry up. Like,
it's very Jamie Lee Curtis of you to be doing it the day of too. It feels like
right.
The last activity thing that I do every year, and it's really, I think maybe more than any of the other things we've said, the thing that really signifies for me is like that the main culture, normal culture has been like, it's Halloween time, is when this chain of seasonal stores called Spirit Halloween open up. Did you get?
Yeah.
And
we don't have that
wasn't
exact thing, but we just have a bunch of like random pop-up shops, Halloween depots. You know?
But taking my kids to like those Halloween stores, because they like have like these pretty decent sized animatronics, like as years have gone by, and the kids are obsessed with them. They like to like go on YouTube and look at people taking tours of these shops and everything. They're like, oh man, these are so cool. But then as soon as we step into a store, they're like, no, I can't do this.
Spooky.
It's too, like they'll like cover their eyes. Like they want to go look at the costumes, and these things are always at the front. And so they'll like cover their eyes, and you have to like guide them through. and it's been fun to see the development with all 3 kids too, because when they're little, they're very interested. But then as they get older, then they start to get scared, and then as they get older more, then they're like, okay, well, it's fun again. And I remember it was like 2 weeks after Halloween one year, we took our middle kid, our son Colson, and he saw a Michael Myers like animatronic that would just played the theme, and he would just like this. That's it. And he would just that. And so I'm like, that's like the least scary thing. It's not like an 8-foot clown that like jumps out at you and everything. Like his sister was at school when we went, and all year he was like, next year, because we tried to go the next day and they were closed, and to show her. And so all year he was like, oh man, Michael Myers is so cool. He's so cool. You're gonna love seeing Michael Myers, Charlie. You're gonna love it. And then we went, as soon as they opened, we went in, and there was a Michael Myers one, and Colson like legit had like a freak out. He just like, between that year, couldn't do it anymore. And it's just so, it's like, what are you talking about? We are here because of you, dude. You are the one who
hyped this up all year.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, but going in there and seeing those things and trying to decide Halloween costumes is always a big thing because
Do you let them decide, or do you guys have say when it comes? Are you like, you are wearing this hot dog?
we try to let them decide. There's when they're little, like we try to maybe like do themes and stuff. So, like 2 years ago, we did Mario stuff, and
that's fun.
And always like to make the little kid Mario. So like Fern was Mario, so we had a mustache on her and everything, and which is so gross with the kid because we'll just like draw it on because if you like try to put something on them, but then it's October, so their noses just start running and it's just like black smudges all down their face. So Mario's mustache definitely becomes more of a handlebar as like it goes on and everything. But yeah, no, we try to let them decide. We always got to decide as kids. Like we were never forced into it, and my mom would make our costumes, which was always super cool.
That's awesome.
Or right now, Colson wants to be an inflatable T-Rex, like one of those.
Yes.
It's the first one where I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? Because I don't know if I want you to have that. But he'll end up doing it. So
he's gonna have a good time.
Oh, he will. He's gonna have a blast. Yeah. So what about you in costumes? You dress up at all?
My God, I'm thinking like way, way, way back. My mom was kind of the same. Like, what do you want to be? And I was always such a tomboy. So I was Peter Pan. I was the Red Power Ranger. It was weird. I was the Scream Grim Reaper, dude. Before, it was like almost pre the movie.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, because that's...
in a weird way.
Yeah, because they found that one at the like mask. Just not a coffee shop, like a gas station. And so that's... Wow, look at you, trendsetter.
It's so weird. Yeah. And
that's
like,
pretty cool.
Oh, it was so long ago. I was young. I was like grade 2 maybe.
Yeah.
But then I got to the point where I was just like really into Myers, and I was always, my whole thing is I wear a pair of gold pants.
Mm-hmm.
I am 80s Vicky, but on top I'm coveralls and Myers.
Okay.
So it's like when I'm ready to just like let loose, I just whip off my coveralls and I'm like, all right, rock and roll.
There you go. And I wish I had like a go-to, like I still have that Spider-Man costume. And so if I was fat Spider-Man in college, like wearing it now is really bad. But luckily like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse cartoon movie came out where like kind of a schlubby Spider-Man is part of the movie. So this year I wore gray sweatpants with it. So I'm like, I'm just like in the movie. So it's so that was fun.
I love it.
I don't know. That's so just fun. Getting really old. I hold on to things for way too long.
No, but it's a costume. I get that. Having like a tickle trunk, especially like for me, like to do masks and stuff, it's fun to have like just a bag full of weird shit.
Yeah.
But with kids, like how fun is that?
It's true. It's true. And it's always fun to see them in like a costume that's way too big for them or something. The masks. Fern was running around with Michael Myers masks like a couple weekends ago when we were at there. I have to post some of those pictures, but yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This is too much fun. Any for sure decorations?
I am obsessed with decorating. So I'm still building up right now. I find like, you can go years collecting stuff, especially like these stores get really expensive. So like I like to make stuff at the same time. So like, of course, you'll go to the dollar store. You tend to find good stuff. You just have to dig, My go-tos is always cobwebs. I'll always get some cobwebs. I'll always get some danger tape.
Always. That's good.
Oh yeah. And I love the classic pumpkins that you put leaves in. They're just these big goofy looking pumpkins.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I love doing is if you've ever seen the Italian horror movie Zombie by Lucio Fulci.
I haven't sat through the whole thing, but I do know of it. Okay.
So the intro, like you see it in the intro too. The big thing is when the zombies get shot, they're it's like in a sheet. And they're tied at the bottom of the legs and at the neck. So what I like doing, and it also cleans up your yard, what up adulting.
Sure.
You take garbage bags, stuff those with leaves. I take nails, so it's like in a way I'm able to sculpt the bag of leaves.
Okay.
And I sculpt it to look like a body lying down on my lawn that's tied up, basically.
Okay.
I put a sheet all over it, depending on feeling. Sometimes I whip blood on it, but like adult size, like that's like a 6-foot body on my lawn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, even do like the little feet at the end, or like little feet coming out of the ground and arms. Like,
That's so cool.
oh, I love just doing random shit like
Dude,
that.
that's fun. It's fun to
Yeah.
have like the go-to. We've been, I know we've been trying to build up again, but like we kind of went through like our pre-kid, like late 20s stuff where we were just like getting a lot, and then it's just kind of sat, like we put it in a tub and then we bring it out, and then every year something gets broken, and so then it doesn't make it back into the tub. But there's some things that even though they break, we still bring out. Like I think we might have got these at the dollar store, maybe Target or something, but it's like a matching like skeleton bride and groom, and we like
Ooh.
hang them from the light fixture in our kitchen, like over our dining room table, so they just kind of hang there.
Nice.
And we have like a face mount Oogie Boogie from a Nightmare Before Christmas that ended up just staying up all year. He's still like up in like in the living room.
I love that.
And so I don't know if I could call him a Halloween decoration anymore at this point. But we talk about it all the time. It's like it'd be fun to really kind of figure out. But it's also just kind of our, I don't know, our style is just hodgepodge. It's like my bookshelf is just like put whatever I can on it, and it's like whatever. But
well, it's like my house looks pretty much Halloween all year round.
Sure,
anyway.
that's what I imagine.
So it's like, you know, like I go to Winners. I don't know if you guys have that. Do you guys have Winners? No, it's
not
like Marshalls. Marshalls.
Oh, okay, yeah, Marshalls, yeah.
Okay, it's the same kind of store. And like what happens is, you know, Halloween time comes, you can get whole dining sets that look spooky. You can get all this stuff. Like last year, I got a bath mat because we had bought the house, and I was like, why not get something that says "witch, please"? Like, I want that. But
it's so funny.
Oh man, there's people that like deck out their house, you know, just for. I'm not at that point yet. I gotta keep gathering.
Yeah. We it's funny having your own friends, but then it's always weird kind of making friends with your kids' friends' parents and going to houses. You're like, I never would have gone here. And I went to a birthday party earlier this year, and they're very nice and everything, but they have tons of Halloween decorations up. This was in the middle of the summer, and they like have one of those doorbell things that's like you ring it, it's an eyeball that flips up, and they had like mirrors that like if you look at them at the right angle, there's like weird reflections in them and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, man, you're really doing it. And they're like, yeah, we like it. And it's like, that's awesome, that's cool. Like I wish that I was put together enough to like have that kind of stuff up and everything, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah. It's one of those things, you know, like this time of year you go around, shop around, find what's good, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many more options now than there were like 10 years ago. Or like,
absolutely.
It's crazy. Especially like, I mean, if you're willing to go online too, it's like you can find anything you're looking, like anything you would possibly want.
But I love going into the store.
Yeah,
right?
it's an adventure, like a
treasure hunt.
You don't
and
know.
You're like, exactly, oh my god.
You don't know. Yeah, because it's true. When you can find anything, it's not impressive or fun to go and find it. If I just Google search like some kind of like plates or whatever, but then if I go to a store not expecting to find it and I find them, like, that's a cool Michael Myers mug. I like that. Like I would have never thought I wanted it, but now seeing it, I know I have to have it. And so.
Okay, so I have a question for you. As an adult, are you the person who goes around and presses all the buttons to hear what those things do?
I don't know about all of them, but then the good thing is with kids, you can let them push them and you can just find out what's going on. And then you don't have to be the one that pushes it. And you can be like, oh, come on, kids, let's stop pushing them all. And then like, you didn't get that one. I don't know what that guy says, but let's not be too noisy in here so that the people in the next aisle think that you're being responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. You got to try out everything. Like at those Halloween stores, I'm walking and stomping on every mat to like activate everything. And like, what does this one do? This is broken. It's always weird when those Halloween, the big ones at those big stores, they get so much like play. They get used so many times. They're falling apart. Like there was one already, like it was this big monkey, like one of those carnival monkeys with the symbols, but it's like 5 feet tall. It's creepy looking.
Terrifying.
But it's broken and its jaw had fallen off. And I was like, it's even scarier now that happened. I know it's not supposed to be like that, but it's pretty cool. So do you have any music in particular that it feels Halloween-y for you, Vicky?
In this house.
I'm sure that. Well, that's the thing where I was all like, I know that like if people listen to a lot of stuff Vicky listens to like all year round, they'd be like, sounds Halloween. But is there? I don't. Every time we say Halloween, I don't know. Halloween-ish, whatever. But but for you personally, is there anything that you got to make sure is like, this is it? This is feeling like it's Halloween.
There are two of my favorite things to hear, which is the Monster Mash, number one.
It's on my list. Yes. Oh.
And Spooky Scary Skeletons.
That's a good one. I love it
so much. There was one time, dude, I was mold making. I think I might have been making my It mask. I lived in a loft and I was just getting messy, meaning I can't stop my music. What did I end up doing? I pressed Spooky Scary Skeletons for 10 hours on YouTube.
There you go.
Spooky Scary, and it's like an hour and a half long process, and I'm just listening to this on repeat. Like, I guess I'm going along with this. Like, there's no stopping.
That's so funny.
But it's so good.
It is. It's one of those, and it's especially like on a 10-hour one. Like, there's some songs you can tell like it's winding down. Now it's starting again. Spooky Scary Skeletons. It's just like, I don't know when the first one ended and the second one starts. When's the proper time to end this? I guess at 10 hours. That's because you don't want to cut it off.
No. But those are my top two. I love like, what is it, the Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith did the Nightmare on My
Nightmare on My Street. Sure.
Yeah, they had that one. That was pretty hype.
That's good.
And like movie themes, like it's always fun to get like a playlist, right?
Yeah. For me, it's just, and I put this on the other day, even just the whole soundtrack to Sleepy Hollow from Danny Elfman did for the Tim Burton one. It's very I don't know, I like the theme a lot, but then it's just pretty atmospheric and everything and a lot going on with it. Fern would walk in when I was working to it and she'd just like, it's too spooky in here. It's too scary in here.
Turn down your spooky.
And I'm like, you can go then. Go watch Frozen in the other room because I'm listening to this in here. And so that's a big one. And then Fright Night, the remake of Fright Night with Colin Farrell and Anton Yelchin. The theme for that one, I very much like that as well. That's just one I put on. It's like got some organ stuff in it and everything. And then for Kitty, kind of like Halloween scores, Danny Elfman again did the one for Goosebumps. Which is I think a perfect kids Halloween movie. Like it's not really that scary, but like there's lots of monsters in it, and the theme again, really fun on that one. And then of course there's the Halloween theme, which I appreciate that we're getting so many different versions of it from John Carpenter himself, like with the new ones coming out.
Yeah.
Like the one that came out last year, like at least got a lot more like guitar and everything in them, and the kids, it's like the perfect length to drive the kids to school, and their poor mom Kayla just has to like bear with it because they're like, can we play the Halloween theme again? And she's just like, not again. But it's like every day we'll listen to it driving to school. They love it.
I love that.
And Fern, like, because of like the guitars and everything, like Fern's just in the back and she's like headbanging to like the Halloween theme. It's too fun.
Oh my goodness.
So good. But yeah, lots of music stuff for me. Most of it tied to movies and everything. But
it's, I always remember we had a tape cassette. Remember tape cassettes?
Oh, I do.
And I don't know where it came from. And it had yellow writing on it, and it was Sounds of Horror. Ooh. And I remember just being like, I'm gonna put this on, and me and my sister just sitting there. She's 7 years older than me, and I'm young at this point. We're just chilling, and I'm like, this is scary. Like, especially when you find like a weird runoff of Halloween sounds.
Sure.
I highly suggest it. If you're at a freaking yard sale or something, pick up a weird Halloween sound CD.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say if you're at a yard sale, like play the Halloween sound effects. I'm like, that's gonna put a different vibe out there.
Could I have this for $1?
Yeah.
Like, things just
people won't
eerie.
mess with you if that's what's going on. We don't haggle.
Yeah. Because you would never get real music on it. It was just a weird sound
chains
effect.
rattling and cats screeching and people screaming.
Yeah.
Doors slamming stuff. Yeah.
Wind. Lots of wind.
Lots of wind. That's too funny. Okay, now the big one. I know you're short on time, so I don't want to take you up because you're busy. You're so busy, so I'm so thankful that you took time to talk to me today, Vicky.
I'm so glad. It's like a nice little break between slapping paint on everything and epoxy.
Well, if you ever need a break to talk about horror movies, which loving all of your recommendations, everything with people should be checking out on your channel, everything on Makeup Billy, and finding you on Instagram and everywhere, and on your website where they can order masks that you personally are molding, sculpting, painting, all of it, and they can watch the whole process. It's very cool. Love the They Live one. I'm telling you, I tell Kayla, I'm like,
you can see him. He's like,
I see him. I've been looking at him the whole time. I've been watching you paint him. I tell Kayla, I'm like, one of these days, I'm going to order one of those from Vicky. And so it's coming. That day's coming. But yeah, make sure to check out everything that you're doing because it's just a lot of fun. And so,
I appreciate it. I try to share the spooky love with everybody, it's fun.
You do a good job. And I think that you do. I mean, I think it's true for like everything that I've seen when it comes to people who are really into horror are usually like some of the nicest people and everything. You just pleasant and just happy-go-lucky, and it's like they just happen to like watching people get decapitated, and so it's like, you kind of get all the negativity out of you that way.
We get all our outlets, right?
Yeah. So let's talk movies then. Ooh. Vicky, why don't you throw one out for me? What's a Halloween season essential movie?
So Halloween is literally my day. I don't like to do anything. I used to do makeups and stuff. I used to book myself up, and nowadays I'm like, no, this is my day off. And what do? I decorate, carve pumpkins, drink wine, and then I watch movies. And that is always Halloween 1 and 2.
Okay.
Hands down. I got to see those two, and that's usually closer to midnight. I usually save those for like best for last kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Demons. I love
okay.
Yeah. Demons is a classic. Mm-hmm. I usually end up watching Maniac. It's another one of my favorites. Hocus Pocus, I'll usually watch within the week.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus is on my list.
And sure. Ernest is Scared of Stupid.
Oh my gosh, I didn't put Ernest Scared Stupid on my list. That was one of those movies.
I'm here to share.
When I was a kid, I watched it and traumatized.
So good.
It's so good though. So funny.
Those trolls?
Yes.
They're like...
It's so good. I think I might have to. That's another thing with kids. You got to figure out like, when can I show this or that? And I think this is the Ernest Scared Stupid year.
Hell yeah, do it.
I'm doing it. All summer has been the struggle with me and Kayla has been, do you think the kids are old enough to watch Jaws yet? And she's like, no, don't show them Jaws because I take them to the river and they're already afraid of stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's fair. But I do want to show them Jaws. And then I'm like, man, Terminator 2 is so awesome. Like, we should watch Terminator 2. And then I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, well, maybe we should put off a little bit. If I had a TV edit of Terminator 2, we'd watch the heck out of it because I think that's the first way I saw Terminator 2, and I love that movie. It's good stuff.
It's fantastic from start to finish. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's another one where I get traumatized. I remember being traumatized by Arnold, like ripping the skin off of his arm and being like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, that's not, you're not supposed to be able to do that. But it's just one of the, like the first time you really see a good head explosion in a movie, you're like,
yes,
that's it. Life-changing. There's no going back from that.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus is definitely a big one. One that runs for like 3 months at our house, like nonstop, is Nightmare Before Christmas because it's all Halloween, then all through November, and then all through Christmas. And the same with the soundtrack. It's just like they hit a gold mine with that movie. There's like, we just own a quarter of the year and no one can stop us.
That's it. I mean, Tim Burton's fantastic. Let's be real. Yeah. It is a great film.
Yeah, we just watched Beetlejuice the other day, and so like,
that's a classic Halloween.
That's a good one. That's a good one too.
That is a good one.
And you mentioned
Ghostbusters.
Yes, of course. That's another one that Coulson loved, and then one day was too afraid to watch.
That intro is terrifying in the library.
Yeah, and then when Dana gets like grabbed by all the hands and pulled into the closet, it's very scary too.
Yeah. And I've had nightmares about what's his name, Vigo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, from Ghostbusters 2? Vigo the Carpathian?
I don't trust him.
Yeah. So good. It's something he said right before his head died. Death is but a doorway. Time is but a window. I'll be back. The last one that we had mentioned on my list, I know you have a million movies that you could say, is Trick or Treat.
Ooh, yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. And I think that when it comes to like recognizable horror icons, like that really like people are out there. Sam, the little burlap sack guy, is like the most, I don't know, the most current one. Obviously in the genre, there's a lot of ones that have been after him, but I just like the short stories, so you don't get caught up in too much, but they're also all intertwined with each other. That's showing in theaters for the first time ever this year, because it was a straight to DVD release, which is crazy to think about. So I'm thinking,
yeah, it was well shot. It had a decent, I want to say it had a decent budget. It looked great.
Yeah, it got shelved. It was one of those where it got done, and then I think the studio got bought out, and then it sat on a shelf for like 2 years, because I remember seeing trailers for it, and then it didn't come out forever.
I feel like it was littered all over Fangoria.
Oh,
like in like those like magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
it's I mean, tons of practical stuff and everything. Like I think almost all of it is practical effects. So
yeah,
that doesn't surprise me. It's good.
It's kind of hard trying to think of. I don't know what I was watching the other day or talking to, but it basically came up like, what are movies that surround Halloween? Horror movies about Halloween night. And like it just came to me earlier because I was going through our list of stuff, and I was like, Terrifier technically is on Halloween night, and he's spooky. Like, yo, big ups to Terrifier. I appreciate Art the Clown.
That's a lot for me.
He's spooky.
Yeah. That's one of those, like, in the horror community, definitely an icon. I don't know if everybody else would recognize, but maybe for the better for them. But yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's one of. Are you okay, Fern? She's so bored. She was so used to everybody being home for summer. It's like the second week of school, and so
I was like, where are you?
Who am I talking to? I'm talking to my friend Vicky. You want to say hi? You can't hear her. Well, let me get your headphone.
Oh, hello.
There you go. You can say hi, Fern.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Are you excited for Halloween?
Yeah.
You want to tell her what you want to be for Halloween?
I want to be a kitten.
You can be a kitten. I thought you were going to be a princess.
Kitten.
Oh, there you
Princess kitten. There you go.
That'll be fun. Do you
That
like
sounds
candy?
cute.
Yeah.
What kind of candy do you like?
Popsicle.
You mean lollipops?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Tell you what, once I get done talking to Vicky, I'll get you one, okay? Okay.
Lucky.
I'm going to say bye.
Bye in my
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll finish up. I'm almost done.
What did that do?
What's that guy do? That's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I don't know why he's on my desk. Okay, you can play with him. That's fine.
I don't know why Obi-Wan Kenobi
I don't know why
on
he's
my
there.
desk.
The
things we say sometimes that I wonder, is Siri listening and wondering what's going on in our homes?
I would think that things like that, where they're like, this is not a house we need to listen to anymore. You say things, they're like, okay, well, turn that one off, because it's not, it's nothing. We're not gaining anything. But, all right. Yeah, it's weird to think about, like, the kind of movies that actually happen on the day are sometimes hard to find, like hard to think, like, because I was going through it too and trying to think, it's like, okay, what actually is Halloween? Like, what is the thing that is just scary? Because, like, that's not what I think, because I watch horror movies all the time. Like, so that's not that doesn't make it Halloween. But you know,
Well, put love zombie someday.
brother loves zombies sometimes. Sure does. We do love Halloween. All right, you want to go finish watching your show, and I'll help you in a second. What am I gonna be for Halloween this year?
Ooh.
I was thinking, your mom and I, when we were watching Beetlejuice, we were thinking of doing Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis from Beetlejuice, just
Yeah.
normal. But I'm like, just get like a flannel shirt and
That's
glasses.
awesome. Yeah, little glasses. Pull up
I
your
need to
pants a
dye
little
my
high.
hair because I look too old. I look like current day Alec Baldwin.
Monster will eat you.
A monster will eat me?
Yeah.
Well, I'd hate for that to happen.
It will eat that all.
It's gonna eat us all. Cool.
We want that going to the
Okay, you gonna keep me safe? Thank you. Okay, I didn't think they were until you told me he was gonna eat me. Okay, bye. All right. Well,
Love it.
Vicky, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about Halloween stuff.
Thank
And-
you, my dude. It's
and
so
I'm-
nice to be back on here.
Any time, I'm sure I will think of another reason to have you on. But yeah, thanks again, and good luck with all the shows and everything. Sure.
Thank you.
You're crazy. It's lunchtime.
You
but yeah,
gotta
thanks
take tons of pictures of
Yes.
Halloween too.
Okay, we will get lots of pictures out. We'll see if we land on Kitty, Princess, or if maybe it's something else by the time. Because that's the thing. It's a long time between now and Halloween.
That's
Who
a good
knows?
point.
Who knows? All right. Well, thanks again, Vicky. It's good talking
Thank
with you.
you. We'll
right.
see you.
Bye.
Bye.